G'day mates, it is Sid here again, and I am back. I have not made a video for a very long time now. So you might be wondering today, what am I going to make for a video? The answer is a smithing guide. So I did promise this a while ago, but it didn't actually go to plan because I actually planned to edit one on Sony Vegas, and I am really horrible at Sony Vegas. So I didn't actually get that to work out properly, so I decided today that I was just gonna re-record one and go with the flow. So first of all, from level 0 to 10, you basically only have to craft arrows, which I'll show you guys very soon. But if you guys have done the Tinnerum quest or the Golix pre-quest, you can actually come here to this old man and buy one of the gold heart recipes, which I would like you to buy because it will help the process with smithing later on. So let's go ahead and go to Ardent Mill. So yeah, talk to Randolph and buy a gold heart recipe. Use it and it's never going to expire. You can keep using it and so on. So now from levels 1 to 10, you pretty much only need to make projectiles. Initially you can make these ones. You can buy the plates for 500k. So yeah, not too bad. But yeah. So really, this guide is just basically my most efficient, fastest and cheapest way. Of course, there are other cheaper methods, but it requires a lot more time, and it could take about 5-6 times as long as this. But let's just get into this. So for your first few levels, you're gonna make quality arrows for the bow. And follow it on later on, you can start making strong arrows for the bow. To be honest, these plates you can just buy them in the FM for really cheap. I think like 500k each. So if you don't want to, you can always go onto your own mill and smith these. That also works. Craft these. Well, this guy, the smelting one. So yeah, that's pretty cheap. And then you can slowly build up and get your way to level 10. It's actually really fast from 1 to 10. It took me 1 day to do that. Of course, I did use one fatigue potion. Once you get to level 10, you're gonna have some difficulty getting to level 11 with the XP jump to 46k, I believe. And you might be wondering, what did I make? And the answer is, I've actually made a lot of timeless and reverse equips. And the most efficient one is actually the shoe. It costs the least amounts, and because it only takes 8 pieces of time and 2 dark crystals, that is actually the cheapest, and you get 1500 mastery. So yeah, I've made a lot of these. Pieces of time have now actually gone up in price, so it's not as cheap as it used to be, but it's still a very fast way to level up. And you can farm these from just mining the crystals, the legendary veins, or killing monsters in Temple of Time if you have the time. You can also make timeless arons, or these ones, preferably the dark crystals, since they are slightly cheaper than the black crystals. And these take 1 rock of time each, and they also give 1400 XP each. They use advanced crystals, so those aren't expensive. They're actually fairly cheap. So you can farm Rock of Times from Easy Arc or Pink Bean, and if you have a friend, you can always ask them to help you out, gather a few Rock of Times, and you should be able to hit some level 11 within a couple of days, 1 or 2 days, depending on how much you have and your funding. But this is the most cost efficient and fastest way to get to from level 10 to level 11. And of course, if you don't want to make these, you can always make the other equips, but they do take a lot longer. So you can make the weapons, but I don't believe the weapons give that much of a benefit, to be honest. Yeah, so weapons give 2k, but they take 24 pieces of time, which is really not worth it, and timeless take 3. So you're better off making the shoes, as I said. Once you've hit level 11, you're gonna start making the cubes. So this is when things get a little more exciting, and you can make your very first cube, and that is the Master Craftsman cube. And as you see, it gives you 5k XP, 5.3k XP per craft. You need 160k XP, so It's not too much, but this does cost a fair amount due to the inflation of cubic blades. But you can farm these in the Commercy voyages, so make sure you do those every day. And this is actually the most expensive part because you do need to get superiors, and superiors are really expensive, like 1 mil to 1.5 mil each at the moment, and cubic blades have inflated to something ridiculous like 10 mil each. So yeah, this is going to be a very pain in the bottom parts, but once you pretty much get through this, it'll be all good. And also, like I said before, if you got your gold heart recipe, you can craft one of these every 15 minutes, just casually. It will slowly boost you up. I mean, it's not that great for XP, but it does require very little items, advanced item crystals and gold plates, which are very cheap. So these are basically all you need to level your smithing to Meister. And once you get there, you can start making these lovely Meister cubes, which are apparently better than the red cubes. So yeah, but if you're solely making yourself to Meister for cubes, I'd suggest you not waste too much Mesos on it in one go. You might want to farm superior crystals yourself and cubic blades yourself. This will take a little longer, but this is the fastest way. You can still continue making the timeless and reverse equips, but they do slow down since they only give 1.4 to 1.5k each, whereas these cubes give 5.3k each. So yeah, that pretty much concludes the guide on how and what to make to the most cost efficient, I should say, and time saving method to get to Meister for smithing. If you have any other questions, feel free to leave them in the comments or just message me like you usually do, you guys, and I'll answer them whenever I can. And I'll see you guys soon.